Hello and welcome to this week's news bulletin. I'm your host Salma Fuad, and today we'll be discussing the AUC women's basketball teams in Berlin, the parking issues in AUC, and the AUC Dorms Got Talent. Coming up next on our interview section, we'll be hosting Yusuf Amir, president and founder of AUC Club Revival. The AUC Eagles women's basketball have managed to successfully compete in the Berlin Sports Tournament and won the second place on November the 17th. The Eagles started off with their first game against the Tech University of Czech Republic and beating them by double-digit points. Getting their confidence boosted, they also managed to beat Greek University G after a brutal aggressive game and winning their first two games to advance to the final.
Achieved the second place in Berlin tournament Eurojada, and they won all the games before the final, and they were very professional, and they played so hard. But the other team was really very good and hard for them too. So next time they will get the first place.
Assistant coach Saif Amin and Hisham Mafia gathered their team for a meeting prior to the game, motivating the players and preparing them for the championship game. After a hard-fought game, the team unfortunately were short by 2 points, making them second place in the tournament. The Eagles collected their trophy with their head held high and their spirits up to back to their hotel room and rested. The AUC Eagles then finished their tournament and had one last day to enjoy the cold breeze of Berlin. Just like every semester, students at AUC are suffering from the lack of parking slots on campus. Students are mad that they pay £5 every morning for the parking, and at the same time they can't find places to park, and they go out of campus and park outside. Students must keep searching every morning for at least 15 to 20 minutes to find parking slots. Students are waiting for a response or action from the university to try and solve this problem. Dorms Got Talent is a talent competition hosted by the Residential Life at the American University in Cairo. This semester, it is back for its fourth season this fall. Students from all around the globe participated in the competition that had talents that diversified between singing acts, instrument playing, as well as dancing. The 3-hour competition did not only serve entertainment, but food and drinks were also served to the attendees.
The aim was to encourage everyone, no matter how different and diverse we are, to bring about everything unique about them and participate to showcase their talent to everyone else.
Yusuf Mu'taz, a singing act, was announced the winner of the grand £5,000 prize of the competition by the end of the one-day competition. That's all we have for you today on our news bulletin, but stay tuned for our interview segment coming up next. Hello and welcome back to the show. With us today is an AUC student who had a mission to end homelessness in Egypt. Yusuf Amir, president and founder of AUC Club Revival. Revival is a club that aims to rescue homeless people from the streets. Yusuf is an inspiration to many of us because at such a young age he was able to save many people's lives. Yusuf, welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming. So I want you to tell me first, how did the club begin? Where did the idea come from?
The idea about Revival actually started 2 years ago. With me and my friend Muhannad Zaid watching a TV show called Qumra in Ramadan. There's one case of a homeless woman who have been rescued by giving her a house and a business. And her life changed completely. From this show we have actually started the idea of building such a club to help homeless people in Egypt. And this club will be starting from AUC campus. We have gathered some data and we have sent some emails asking the offices connected with clubs in AUC, and then we have successfully established Revival from about a year ago, and we have been doing, I can say, good work for the past year.
Can you tell me exactly what is Revival?
Revival is a club aimed and focused on helping homeless people on many aspects. The first important one, which is rescuing them, of course. We have done searching about homeless people. Many people have sent us on our social media accounts about people they have found on streets. And then we have gone to finding them an appropriate place to stay. Shelters, we have many connections with shelters all over Cairo, and then we have reached these homeless people, convinced them to have a home, and then we have followed with the shelters on their health improvements and their psychological improvements. We have also done a literacy courses for those spending time in shelters. We have teaching them Arabic, and for those who are good enough, teaching them basics of English, and we are expanding for adding a new service which is called Visits, which is focusing on their psychological impact, spending time with them as a family, as friends, and etc.
Okay, so don't you think that it's dangerous going out in the streets and rescuing these people?
Yes, indeed. Especially because we are all students, we don't have that experience in rescuing people and dealing them with streets. The main dangerous thing that people think of us as criminals, maybe we're kidnapping these poor, old or young.
Did you face such a problem? Did anyone ever tell you?
Not exactly, because we have been cooperating with many governmental and accredited places, but these places actually face these problems because people might call the police on them while they are rescuing a case because they do not know who they are exactly. So yeah, it's dangerous, and maybe the homeless people is dangerous because they might have problems with us approaching them. They may have weapons, and they may show these weapons against us.
Okay, and you raise money, of course, because it's like a charity club.
Yes, of course.
So can you tell me some of the ways you helped raise money?
Yes, we have done awareness campaigns, and these actually awareness campaigns have been proven to be such a powerful tool for us to raise, because when we raise awareness about how homeless people are in Egypt, people get to know more about homeless people, because the main stereotype about homeless people are they criminals or they're drug addicts, but they are not actually. They are people like us who face trauma and have been forced to live on the streets. And when people know this, they got empathy, and then they want to help. And we have actually done 2 awareness campaigns, and we have raised a ton of clothes, and we have raised a good amount of money that helped them. Blankets, of course, because the winter is coming. So yes, we have done a good fundraising.
Okay, and do you think that someday that your club is going to be an international one? Like, do you think you could expand it into becoming an international organization someday?
Well, that's a goal, of course, but I think the short-term goal is expanding nationally over the universities in Cairo, outside of AUC. And I think such an important cause as homeless is not only affecting Egypt, it's affecting many places globally. So an opportunity to open revival internationally over the countries, expanding universities maybe outside of Egypt, is such a valid opportunity for revival, and such a needed opportunity for homeless people all over the world. So yes, it's actually a valid on-table opportunity. Yes.
And so I want to ask you a final question. So what is the plans for the future for this club?
Well, we have a very important plan next semester. We are organizing a big fundraising event. It would be a fundraising event for the homeless people, mainly raising money funds for them and raising awareness. And for the long term, we are planning to expanding the club beyond AUC. We want this idea of helping homeless people and the idea of homeless people not being actually criminals or dangerous to be expanded all over Egypt. So we want to raise awareness all over the universities. We want to gather more volunteers outside of AUC, and we want, of course, to expand the idea of helping people generally, not only homeless, outside the scope of AUC and all over Egypt.
I think that's a really great thing to be doing, and I think it's a hard thing to do, but it's such a brave thing to do, and I'm so happy that we have such a thing in our university. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for our questions today. Yusuf, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I wish you nothing but success in the future, and I hope that we can join you in this process. That's all we have for you today. I'm your host, Salma Fuad, and thank you for joining us.